Okay, good evening, tubers. I'm gonna leave you guys with a hot tip. You guys all know about breaking plastic parts, right? You got tons of them laying around till you get that magic fix. Well, I'm gonna show you what I do in a pinch. Now, this is a high stress part, and if you're gonna try and make this work, you don't want to, load it up after. But there's a couple of things you can do to make it last a while, possibly even through a decent bath session, provided you don't have direct contact on the part after. You're gonna have to have some type of small torch. I've got several that I use for soldering, and this being one of them. And when I get into solder mode, it's generally after I buy a lot of batteries. Like, this is from the battery sale. All those batteries there came to $125 from here, over 125 bucks. I posted that link on the Christmas video, and he sold out, so I'm trusting that a lot of you did pretty good. In the meantime, you can use steel for this. I use aluminum because it's very light. When I use pop rivets, I always save these. Now this one is tricky because of the angle, and matter of fact, you raise this up a little bit, and you have to get yourself set ahead of time with your angle and what you want to do in your tools. In this case, for this one, I'm going to use these needle nose and a pair of pliers. Now, you heat up steel and it gets red, but aluminum is different. Okay, you put it on there, you really don't see much of nothing unless it's got some oil residue or something on it. But what happens with aluminum is that you'll see this yellowish hue come over it. There you go. I don't know if you can see that. That lets you know that it's pretty much hot enough. And I heat up the pliers because they take away a lot of the heat. And I put it right next to the plastic part, as close as I want to, and then I squeeze. And I just hold it there. And it moves itself in. It's a bad angle, but I think it went across the break. It did. I don't know how hot it is. It's pretty much set. Now, with that done like that, the idea is to epoxy it over and sand it down. What I do to get the piece, that and move it. That doesn't no matter. I'll just cut another one. I'm going to do both sides of this, and then I'll make up about a dime size patch of epoxy, because I'm going to do the top and the bottom. A piece of rivet on either side. For that yellowish hue to start coming off of it. There it goes. That's the oxidation burning off of it. This one's a little hotter, and hopefully I'll get it. Oh, it moved. That's the part that's tricky. Got to get it right on there and go boom. Okay, it's still hot, so it worked. And it's in there. So what you're doing is you're taking the plastic parts that are broken, and you're melting something into it that it's going to grab and hold. I'm going to have to take and clean that up with a Dremel, because that was the back side that I couldn't see what I was doing very well, and it came through the top. Gotta be real careful, because you can shave with this puppy here. The dull knife is like having a empty glass when you need a shot of Jack. Okay. Now you can actually take a soldering iron and heat that up a little more if you want, you know, once you got your part in. And now I'm going to do the top side, and I'm going to put the pressure on that across those two pieces so that they stay intact while I do the same thing on the top side. You see that? See how it springs? It lets you know that your piece is holding. Now I'm going to put this on for this side, and then I'll switch it over and do the other side so that I do a neater job. Let me see here. How's this going to work? Yeah, that's going to be fine. And do be careful, because this sucker is hot. And don't forget, you got to warm up the pliers, because you got to let them get hot too, because they'll take enough heat off of it to where you won't get a good meld. It's still cold. It's ugly as hell, but you know what? It's gonna stay there. You epoxy it over. I use acetone to clean up plastic. It removes any residues, including some of the compounds that are used when they manufacture polymer products. And it makes it very, almost sponge-like, if you will. And so that when you start to put the epoxy in, it'll blend a little bit better. That's what acetone does. We actually used acetone at PPG. We have twin tandem extruders for plastics. You have 40-foot screws, 15 inches in diameter, and we had a tank that we put them in. It was about 30 inches wide and about 2 feet longer than the screw, and it was full of acetone. And we would actually drop this screw after we pushed it out of the extruder into that tank, and the next day there would be no plastic on it. So that gives you an idea of what acetone will do for you. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this other side. But this is probably the worst part to be trying to do this with, but it's the only one I actually had available that was broke. But I don't jump up and run and go buy a part every time something breaks. If I can't make something that's better than what broke, I tend to repair it. Now, the only time this is really a tricky crap is when you're dealing with a mated surface. And when you're dealing with a mated surface, it gets really, really hard to create strength, because you have to install your bond laterally, and it's generally not recommended. But in a millwright classification, you know, if you can't do the job because you can't find a part, you ain't got no job. Because that's why you're a millwright, because you can make whatever you need. If there's steel stock, if there's a piece of steel laying around that's bigger than the part you broke, then you take that piece of steel and you go in the machine shop and you make it. You don't go in there and ask this guy to do this and ask that guy to do that. You use the lathe, the mill, you get the welder out, you find whatever electronics you need, coils, solenoids, transformers, whatever, and you make it. That's why they hired you. And if you can't get it done, if it's possible to make it, oh, not in there, if it's possible to get it done and you can't do it, then you need to be working someplace else. Damn sure can't be no millwright. But this, while it's ugly as hell, you can take some black epoxy and sand that down. Nobody will know you fixed it. You know. Oops. No. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So you take your Dremel, whatnot, or just file, whatever, clean it up, and you're good to go. It's just that simple. Matter of fact, I can take them. Yeah, you know, but that's what happened. That's just a rivet. But now, since it's got hot, I can't even cut it because I increased the tensile strength in it just that much. Interesting. I didn't realize I had that much heat on it. But yeah, file it down, epoxy it over, clean it up. Back in business. Anyway, Merry Christmas. Lots of stuff like that. I don't know how much you guys are into firearms. I got tons of that kind of stuff laying around video wise from a different time and a different channel. Most of us who do what I do, we tend to build our own rifles, especially competition shooters. Most of the high-grade comp shooters won't shoot a store-bought gun, not for money, because somebody else made it and you just can't feel it. But that's my tip. Merry Christmas again. And if you don't think this really works, grab some of that trash you got laying around and give it a shot, because I guarantee you're going to be like, damn, I could have fixed that all the time. It was just sitting there right in my face. So don't y'all go burn the house down, all of a sudden want to fix everything made of plastic in the world, okay? Mr. Phil, you're in the RC pit. Y'all have a good evening, and I got to get away from these cars for a minute. I got stuff to do. But we'll be talking to you. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.